Good afternoon, educators. Welcome to Minggu Belajar bersama Mentari Teachers Academy, presented by Mentari Group and Mentari Teachers Academy. Now, we are still waiting for the other participants to join our room. Selamat siang kepada Bapak Ibu Guru yang baru saja bergabung bersama kami. Selamat datang di Minggu Belajar bersama Mentari Teachers Academy yang dipersembahkan oleh Mentari Group dan Mentari Teachers Academy. Sekarang ini kita masih menunggu peserta lainnya untuk bergabung bersama kita di ruang Zoom ini. Good afternoon, educators. Welcome to Minggu Belajar bersama Mentari Teachers Academy, presented by Mentari Group and Mentari Teachers Academy. While waiting for the other participants to join our room, please kindly watch some videos from Mentari Group. Enjoy the video.
Hello, my name is Todd Cordy and I'm the Head of English for Mentari Teachers Academy. I've been an English teacher, corporate trainer, teacher trainer, academic manager and author for ESL publications for the last 15 years. I've worked in Thailand, China, Poland, Germany and Indonesia for about the last 10 years. I've taught a range of classes from kindergarten up to senior high school and also university students and professionals for business English, English for specific purposes and various other types of English. At Mentari Teachers Academy, I am the head of English, which means I design curriculum and other programs for English proficiency training and also for English methodology teacher training. I also train our other trainers to make sure that our standards are kept high as one of the leading teacher training providers in Indonesia. The way in which Mentari Teachers Academy programs are different is that we like to focus on learning in a fun way. We work with teachers who have either been teaching all day at school or they come on the weekend for extra training, so we make sure that the programs are interesting, they're targeting their needs, they're useful, practical, and above all, fun. The benefit of joining one of our Mentari Teachers Academy training programs is that teachers can work on their professional development in a fun, interesting and communicative way with expert trainers like myself. They are able to put into practice what they've learned, so changing theory into teaching practice, looking at fun, new, modern and relevant ways to help them to teach English better and also to improve their English proficiency.
Betapa pentingnya guru. Guru adalah pengaruh utama untuk generasi muda. Guru mampu mengubah generasi muda Indonesia. Maukah kamu mengambil peran itu? Mengambil peran penting membangun generasi muda, generasi bangsa. Negara memanggilmu. Jawab panggilan itu.
So Mr. Kenan?
From our team,
Yeah.
the things that we are interested in doing but haven't got the chance yet. For Miss Jen is to join a cooking class.
To join a cooking class?
Yeah.
Okay.
For Miss Kartiani is to do bungee jumping.
Oh, okay, right. So I will
then-
have to try it.
Yeah. And then Miss Sri, it's snowboarding.
Snowboarding, Miss Sri. Wow, okay.
Yeah.
What job is that?
Plumber.
Plumber. How do you say it?
Plumber.
Plumber. So with the silent B. Jadi B-nya nggak dibaca. Plumber. Plumber. Very good.
Plumber.
What about dentist? A dentist. Yeah, a dentist. What about this one?
Gardener.
Gardener. What about this one? Ganteng loh. Doctor.
The keyword cubic unit. That's why here CC is cubic centimeter. It tells about the cubic unit. That's why it is important for us to learn the volume of the cube first. Start from the very simple. Here, can you help me to count how many cube do we have now? Part A, the letter A.
8. 7. 8.
Wow.
For the entire figure.
Yep.
Baik, pertama dulu saya jelaskan apa pengertian filosofi. Filosofi ini sebenarnya berasal dia dari bahasa Yunani, yaitu philo, artinya cinta, dan sophia, kebijaksanaan. Berarti cinta sophia, berarti cinta kebijaksanaan. Nah, maksudnya mengapa cinta kebijaksanaan? Karena ternyata itu yang disebut orang yang bijaksana itu adalah hanya satu, yaitu pencipta. Atau yang disebut di dalam para filsuf mengatakannya sebagai causa prima. Penyebab alam semesta ini ada. Hanya dialah yang bijaksana. Ini perlu kita tahu bahwa para filsuf itu tidak mengatakan ini Tuhan. Karena
Salam sejahtera untuk Bapak Ibu Guru, pendidik, dan pimpinan sekolah. Selamat dan terima kasih sudah bergabung di Minggu Belajar bersama Mentari Teachers Academy pertama diselenggarakan di bulan Juli yang dihadiri lebih dari 500 peserta dari Aceh hingga Papua. Kami menghadirkan 10 topik menarik dari International Class, kelas bahasa Inggris untuk preschool, primary, dan secondary, matematika dalam bahasa Inggris dan bahasa Indonesia, kelas sains, dan juga menghadirkan filsafat pendidikan untuk usia PAUD, usia sekolah, dan juga usia remaja. Yuk kita saksikan keseruan dari Minggu Belajar bersama Mentari Teachers Academy di bulan Juli.
English is very irregular when it comes to spelling. That's just because of the history of English. We have adopted words from many different languages and we haven't changed the original spelling.
Nah, mengapa penting sekali ini di usia SD? Karena anak ini mulai masuk ke usia remaja, mencari identitasnya. Kalau mereka tidak bagus dipersiapkan di usia ini, nanti di sana menjadi lepas kontrol.
Buat selfie, tapi dia juga ada kaki tiganya. Nah, jadi di bagian atas bisa ditempatkan handphone, dan handphone itu bisa dijadikan sebagai kamera yang kedua. Terkadang pakai webcam juga bisa. Jadi nanti hasilnya adalah seperti yang di bagian tengah-tengah sini yang sedang saya tunjukkan dengan kursor. Jadi misalkan mau ada peragaan khusus dengan bentuk-bentuk square, misalnya bentuk persegi bisa.
For example, if you're teaching simple past and past continuous, ask them to match the simple past and then the past continuous, because they have to think. Is it logical? Is it not logical? Kind of like that.
You can send the list of materials ahead of time. I think somebody shared that, and that's very good. Put it in the stream in the Google Classroom so they can find or search for these materials ahead of time, and they do the experiment with you.
We all knew it was coming. We all knew the digital revolution was coming. We all knew the online learning revolution was coming. We were all possibly a little bit resistant to it and in denial about its existence, but it's here. And so once we've accepted its limitations, embrace it and let's make it the best it can be.
Minggu Belajar bersama Mentari Teachers Academy adalah program pengembangan untuk guru pendidik di seluruh Indonesia, menghadirkan 10 topik penting dari subjek bahasa Inggris, matematika, sains, metodologi, pedagogi, karakter building, dan juga teaching management. Diselenggarakan secara konsisten dan berkesinambungan di setiap bulannya pada minggu keempat dari bulan Juli sampai dengan bulan November 2020. Khusus di bulan Agustus, Minggu Belajar bersama Mentari Teacher Academy menghadirkan tema implementasi pengajaran di era new normal. Tentu saja dengan 10 topik yang menarik dan pastinya bermanfaat untuk Bapak dan Ibu guru pendidik dimanapun Anda berada. Mari gabung bersama Minggu Belajar bersama Mentari Teachers Academy bulan Agustus tanggal 25 sampai dengan 29 Agustus 2020. Terima kasih.
Dear educators, now we are going to play Mentari Group Anthem that we sing every day and at all Mentari Group events as part of our passion to live the vision, mission, and culture of Mentari Group in each of our works, namely build education to advance the nation. Hopefully, by this anthem, you can understand more about Mentari Group. Let's listen together.
Insan mentari, hai ini waktumu mengabdi bangsa lewat pendidikan, berangkat dari visi misi luhur. Kami datang untuk membangun negeri, berani bermimpi dan terus berkreasi, mau dan sanggup menjadi yang terbaik, cakap cepat cerdas selai, itu adalah kami, bergerak terbaik, itulah nafas kami, untuk Indonesia kami berkarya, bangun pendidikan, majukan bangsa.
Well, thank you very much. Good afternoon, educators. Welcome to Minggu Belajar bersama Mentari Teachers Academy with the topic presenting interesting grammar lesson through online teaching presented by Mentari Group and Mentari Teachers Academy. This is a teacher training and development program that is consistent and sustainable, created to be a platform for educators across Indonesia to share and grow together. For 2 hours ahead, me, Ocha, will lead this agenda. Before we start our agenda, let me inform you of some regulations for our event. The first one is, the trainer will start deliver materials at 2 p.m. Please make sure you have a stable internet connection. Next, while the trainer delivering materials, your microphone will be off or muted. Next, only the trainer can deliver the materials. Next, we will have a Q&A at the end of the session, so if you have any question, please type on the chat box, and you can also speak to our trainer in the Q&A session by using raise hand feature. If you use a laptop or computer, you can click on participant, then there will be a raise hand icon. Or if you use a cell phone, you can click on the 3 dots in the lower right corner. There is more icon, then select the raise hand feature. And today's session will be very interactive, so make sure to participate in the activities through chat box or raise hand feature. And next, the trainer will give a chance to the participants to ask by activating participants' audio. And at the end of the session, I will share a link for downloading today's presentation materials. Next, educators, before we start the event, please fill the attendance form through the link displayed on the screen or use the link on the chat box. After this, I will share the link. Berikut kami lampirkan Bapak Ibu link untuk formulir kehadiran. Silakan untuk mengisi sekarang dan mohon diperhatikan dalam penulisan nama lengkap juga alamat email. Silakan Bapak Ibu bisa mengisinya sekarang. Bapak Ibu for filling in the attendance form. Next. Dan Bapak Ibu, ini adalah gambaran peserta yang hadir pada training hari ini. Luar biasa ya, datang dari 20 kota di Indonesia. Luar biasa sekali. Ada peserta dari Banda Aceh dan juga pendidik dari Pangkal Pinang, Pekanbaru, Kendari, bahkan Ambon. Luar biasa sekali ya. Teknologi bisa menyatukan kita semua di sesi hari ini. Luar biasa sekali. And now, Bapak Ibu, I would like to invite Miss Juliana Dewi as English Team Leader of Mentari Teachers Academy to deliver opening remarks. Please welcome Miss Juliana Dewi.
Okay, thank you, Acha.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much for the chance. Selamat sore, Bapak dan Ibu guru semua. Saya Juliana mewakili Mentari Teachers Academy yang sore ini akan sedikit memaparkan dan memperkenalkan Mentari Teachers Academy, terutama kepada Bapak dan Ibu guru yang baru, kepada yang telah bergabung sebelumnya dengan program-program Mentari kami. Saya cuma mau mengucapkan selamat datang kembali. Semoga sangat-sangat menikmati training hari ini. Oke, sebelum saya menyampaikan program-program itu tadi, saya mau sharing screen dulu ya. Sebentar. Nah, oke. Nah, Mentari Teachers Academy merupakan bagian dari Mentari Group yang didirikan dengan visi to be the leader for teacher training and professional development activities in Indonesia. Karena Mentari Group sendiri memiliki keinginan untuk mendampingi Bapak dan Ibu guru semua untuk mengembangkan kompetensi dan profesionalisme di bidang kalian masing-masing. Oleh karena itu, kami juga memiliki misi untuk membantu para guru mengembangkan kemampuan, kemudian mempersiapkan guru untuk benar-benar menjadi guru yang profesional, baik dalam lingkup nasional maupun internasional. Nah, untuk menjawab visi dan misi ini, maka kami sudah merancang dan membuat sebuah program yang berkesinambungan dan menyeluruh yang dibagi dalam beberapa macam training. Training yang pertama adalah Minggu Belajar Bersama Mentari Teachers Academy atau kita sebut saja MBMTA ya. Jadi MBMTA adalah training yang bisa Bapak dan Ibu guru ambil sebagai satu satuan. Kayak misalnya ini saya cuma bisa hari Selasa, ya udah saya ambil hari Selasa. saya cuma mau ambil yang secondary, saya ambil yang secondary. Seperti itu ya. Training ini dilakukan setiap bulan, di akhir bulan lebih tepatnya, dan tiap-tiap bulan ada topik-topiknya tersendiri yang disesuaikan dengan kondisi sekolah saat ini. Jadi di bulan Juli kami memulai dengan memperluas wawasan dan pemahaman pengajaran jarak jauh. Di bulan Agustus dan September, karena kita sudah lebih terbiasa dengan pengajaran online, maka kita akan belajar mengenai implementasi mengajar di era new normal. Kemudian di bulan Oktober dan November, karena kita sudah dekat dengan evaluasi pembelajaran, otomatis semua topiknya akan dialihkan ke penilaian dan evaluasi pengajaran jarak jauh. Ya. Nah, semua modul pelatihan ini yang ada di Minggu Belajar bersama MTA, itu merupakan bagian dari program komprehensif dan menyeluruhnya Mentari, namanya 100 Hari Transformasi Guru. Program ini sebenarnya bertujuan untuk menciptakan guru yang kompeten, cakap, dan berkarakter. Bagaimana kami menciptakan program yang menyeluruh? Kami akan memberikan pelatihan yang meningkatkan kompetensi guru sesuai dengan undang-undang pemerintah. Jadi kami akan melatih kompetensi kepribadian, kompetensi pedagogis, kompetensi sosial, dan kompetensi profesional. Dan kami memahami bahwa ketika kita sedang menghadapi pandemi seperti ini ya, yang tidak diharapkan, kami akan memberikan pembekalan yang sekiranya mampu untuk membantu Bapak dan Ibu guru sekalian mengajar secara online maupun secara offline. Karena itu di dalam tiap-tiap kompetensinya kami akan mengembangkan untuk profesionalisme. Kami mau supaya para guru memiliki profisiensi bahasa Inggris di level B1 sampai C2. Sehingga nantinya Bapak dan Ibu bisa mengajar matematika dan sains dalam bahasa Inggris dengan baik. Lalu untuk keterampilan mengajar, Bapak dan Ibu akan dibekali oleh keterampilan manajemen classroom secara online maupun offline, penyampaian materi yang menarik, interaktif, dan efektif, kemudian penggunaan materi pengajaran baik offline maupun online. Dan semua keterampilan ini juga akan tetap membutuhkan sebuah karakter yang baik. Jadi kami juga memiliki program karakter building sehingga guru akan memiliki karakter baik, berdedikasi, senang, bangga, dan percaya diri menjadi guru. Dan untuk kedepannya, karena kita sudah hidup di abad ke-21 ya, jadi kami juga akan melengkapi para guru dengan keterampilan berpikir kritis, kreativitas, komunikasi, dan kolaborasi. Nah, lalu bagaimana kami membagi alokasi waktu untuk pelaksanaan training 100 hari ini? Nah, keseluruhan kompetensi ini akan dibagi dalam total waktu sekitar 320 jam. Dan bagian yang terbanyak nanti di membangun kompetensi profesionalisme. Di situ ada 80 plus 120 jam. Karena di situ nanti akan ada tambahan untuk belajar bahasa Inggris, mengajar matematika dan sains dalam bahasa Inggris. Nah, membangun kompetensi pedagogis akan dilakukan dalam waktu 60 jam, membangun kompetensi kepribadian dalam waktu 24 jam, dan kompetensi sosial selama 36 jam. Jadi total semuanya akan dilakukan dalam 80 hari. Sisa 20 harinya akan dilakukan untuk penilaian, assessment, dan praktek mengajar di sekolah internasional. Nah, pertanyaannya yang bisa ikut siapa aja nanti ya. Nah, sebelum saya ke sana, keempat kompetensi tadi akan disampaikan melalui modul yang berkelanjutan, dalam artian kita membaginya dalam modul-modul, bukan dalam artian kayak kemudian dikasih aja semuanya gitu, langsung dipelajari, tidak. Tapi kami mau para guru belajar secara berkesinambungan gitu ya, supaya tetap ada bahan yang bisa di-retain di memorinya. Jadi kami membagi materi itu dalam 3 modul. Modul 1 yaitu modul dasar, modul 2 yaitu modul lanjut, dan modul 3 yaitu modul mahir. Nah, sekarang pertanyaannya adalah, siapa saja sih yang bisa ikut dengan program 100 hari transformasi guru? Tentu saja guru-guru yang sudah berpengalaman mengajar atau calon guru, jadi fresh graduate ya. Nah, oleh karena itu kami bekerja sama dengan pihak sekolah. Karena program ini bisa dilakukan sebagai bagian dari professional development dari sekolah itu sendiri. Jadi katakanlah sekolah ingin nih supaya gurunya lebih kompeten, kemudian dikirim untuk mengikuti program training ini dengan pendanaan dari sekolah. Atau sekolah juga bisa melihat kesempatan ini sebagai alternatif untuk rekrutmen guru baru. Jadi katakanlah sekolah memiliki kebutuhan akan guru baru ya, kemudian merasa kesulitan untuk mencari guru baru yang berkualitas dan berkompeten, sekolah bisa menghubungi kami, kemudian melihat calon guru mana yang kira-kira sesuai dengan sejalan dengan prinsip sekolah, kemudian sekolah akan memberikan sponsor. Nah, di akhir 100 hari, calon guru ini dapat bekerja sebagai tenaga edukatif di sekolah yang memberikan sponsor tadi. Gitu ya. Nah, tapi kami juga memahami bahwa tadi program 100 hari adalah program yang menyeluruh, komprehensif. Tapi kan sekolah itu juga punya kesibukan tersendiri, memiliki kebutuhan tersendiri, atau juga memiliki budgeting tersendiri. Nah, untuk menjawab kebutuhan-kebutuhan yang seperti itu, kami memiliki continuous professional development dalam bentuk in-house training. Nah, in-house training ini artinya trainingnya akan diadakan di satu sekolah itu saja, dan sekolahnya bisa memilih mau training apa, training kefasihan berbahasa Inggris, yang kami sampaikan dalam INET programnya, English for Non-English Teachers, atau sekolahnya membutuhkan gurunya untuk terampil mengajar. Kami memiliki ETT, English Teachers Training, Ultimate for Primary Teachers, atau Primary Science untuk guru-guru sains. Atau mungkin sekolah perlu supaya gurunya bisa memiliki kepribadian yang lebih baik, yang lebih menarik. Nah, kami memiliki filsafat pendidikan. Ya. Nah, ini adalah 3 program dari Mentari Teachers Academy yang semuanya merupakan sebenarnya salah satu bagian dari yang lain. Jadi, semua materi yang ada di Teachers Development atau Minggu Belajar bersama MTA adalah materi yang semuanya ada di program 100 hari transformasi guru. Dan program ini dapat dipilih sesuai dengan kebutuhan sekolah, waktu yang tersedia, dan budgeting yang tersedia. Terima kasih banyak Bapak dan Ibu sudah mendengarkan saya selama sekitar 3 menit. Selamat menikmati training ini. Have fun everyone. Dan Ocha, terima kasih banyak waktu dan tempat saya kembalikan lagi. Thank you everyone.
Thank you very much Miss Yuliana Dewi for the opening remarks. And dear educators, without any further ado, let's start our session by watching our trainer's video profile. Educators, please welcome Mr. Todd Cordy.
Hello, good afternoon to everyone. Thank you, Juliana, and thank you, Ocha. It's now over to me. I am your host for the Grammar for Primary session today. So welcome. Thank you, everyone, for coming. I can see some familiar faces and some new faces, so welcome, everybody. Please, if you could give me a wave if you are from Java today. If you're in Java today, give us a wave to the screen. Thank you. Good. If you are from Kalimantan, can you please give us a wave? Anybody from Kalimantan? Great. Thank you. What about from Sumatra? I know we have people as far as Aceh today, so please give us a wave if you are from Sumatra. Great. What about from Sulawesi? Anybody from Sulawesi today? Please say hello, give us a wave. And then the other places, maybe Nusa Tenggara or further afield, if anybody's from East Indonesia, please give us a wave. Great. So welcome everybody again, and thank you for coming, attending today. Okay, let's get started. Let's start with an icebreaker activity, as we do with a regular class, before we start with the main content for today. So let's take a look. Sorry, just 1 minute. We're going to do an icebreaker activity. So with this activity, you can either type your answers in the chat box, and then maybe I'll ask a few people to share their ideas as well. Okay? So the activity for our first activity is called "What is happening in this photo?" So we can see a photo here. I want you to look around the photo, see maybe at the top, the bottom, what's happening, and in the chat box you can type what you think might be happening. And then maybe I'll ask some people to tell us, to speak with what they think is happening. So this is just a creative thinking activity. It doesn't have to be really what's happening. It can be funny, amusing, whatever you want it to be. What is happening in this photo? Okay. Yes, please feel free to type in the chat box. What do we think is happening here? Okay, Acha, it looks like we're going to have to choose some volunteers. Everybody's a bit shy at the moment.
Oh, we have one answer here.
Okay, great. Oh, okay. Maybe it was just a delay in my internet. Okay, great. Now people are happening here. Okay, great. So how about we hear from Hayatun Nisa? Me when I see my relatives. That's a great creative answer. Could you please unmute your microphone and explain a little bit to us about your answer, please?
Okay, Ms. Hayatun? Yeah.
So these days, memes really makes me feel close with my students. So I also do this kind of activities in the classroom when we use the screen. So these creative answers really makes the class laugh out loud. So this is the meaning of icebreaker for me, just to make a laugh at the first.
Okay, fantastic. And how does this describe how you feel with your family or your relatives?
I mean, so sometimes they're quite annoying, especially in Indonesia. When you see your relatives, kind of, too much questions sometimes. So I prefer to hide.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. I'm sorry, and Ms. Hayatun, where are you from?
I'm from Banda Aceh.
Okay, great, from Aceh. Thank you very much for your response. We'll have
You're welcome.
Thank you. Can we have one more person? Putri said, Putri Stefani said, hiding from the police. Could you please tell us a little bit more about the story? Why do you think, what is his crime? What did he do? Where is he? Ms. Putri Stefani, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay,
I think that the man is like stealing something. That's why the policeman, as we see that the policeman is riding the motorcycle.
Great.
I think the policeman is trying to find the the another man, and then that's why just like he tried to hiding it under the water there. I'm just thinking like that.
Okay, great, fantastic. Thank you very much for your answer. Let's look at the next picture. Okay. What do you think is happening in this picture? And again, thanks everyone for typing in the comment box. Please keep that going. My sessions are very interactive. This is not a lecture that you just look at and watch like television. I want everybody to participate. And the chat box is a great way to do that, especially with a big class. Somebody says there's an alien. Good. Any other responses? It's a big gecko. Oh, they're taking a picture. Good. Okay. Okay, great. Thanks, Miss Jennifer. A B. Vonnie, Superman is back. Good. Okay, Victor saying taking a picture. There's some other people there. Ms. Ocha, could you choose someone, maybe a volunteer or someone who's already responded? Maybe Miss Risnawati. Children are looking at something. Could you tell me what you think they're looking at?
Okay, Miss Risnawati, please unmute yourself.
Maybe something is very interesting for them. Maybe a big screen that is very attractive to them to see, and so that's why they see like that. Is so amazed with the screen. So I think something is like it's so amazed by them, such as big screen, something else.
Yeah, fantastic. Yes, they're definitely looking up. So it's something that it's at the top of the classroom. Maybe it's a screen. Good, thank you. Anything else? Miss Yuni is saying here, BTS is performing. Yeah, maybe they're interested in K-pop. That's a great answer. Good. Okay, let's do one more picture. Okay, take a moment to look at this carefully. There's a few things to look at, and then let's get some responses here of what people think is happening. Yes, we can see something in the front of the picture, something at the back of the picture. They look similar, but they're different. What do you think is happening? Great, thank you. Is it Wiwiek? The tiger was shocked since he saw his mate, and he thinks that's his, maybe his tiger friend, brother or sister or tiger partner is sick, perhaps. Good. What else do you think could be happening here? It's a bit of a strange picture. Okay, good. So the tiger is feeling envious. Good. The tiger is sad because its friend is injured. But is that a real tiger over in the back? Can you see clearly? It's not quite a real tiger, but the tiger's looking at it like it could be. Good. Real sorry feels tiger with a fake one. Miss Yeti Sunpli, yes, could be unmute your microphone and tell us a little bit about what you mean. There was an accident. Could you explain that a bit further?
Hello, Miss Yeti, please unmute yourself first, Miss. Hello, Miss Yeti, please unmute first the microphone on the left corner.
Okay, can you listen me?
Yes, Miss Yeti, thank you.
Yeah, I see that there is an accident. There is an accident before a show.
Okay, good. And how do you think the tiger is feeling? The real tiger.
The real tiger. It is afraid.
Yeah.
The tiger is afraid. Maybe she will get the same like her friend, maybe.
Oh yeah, it's like, oh, this will happen to me next.
Yeah, what happened next? What me? Is it something like that?
Yeah, great. Thank you. Good. There's lots of great answers here. Yes. The real story behind this is a zoo, and they're doing a tiger emergency drill. So it's like a test drill of what they do. I'm not sure if a tiger would lie like that on a hospital stretcher, but That's what I read from the story that this comes from. So starting a lesson with some funny pictures is a great way to get students talking. And again, with online, we can get them either chatting or speaking so everybody can participate. Of course, very young primary may have difficult with typing, so it's better to do that with answering. So thank you very much. Okay, great answers, everyone. Thank you for participating, and welcome to the session for grammar online for primary. The aims of today are, first we're going to look at grammar briefly and just look at what we need to teach so we can make sure that our lessons have the important parts of grammar. We're going to look at different ways to present grammar for lower and upper primary, online, of course. You're going to take part, so you'll be my students for some of this, and we'll have discussion. And as Ocha said, as I have also said and just demonstrated, these sessions are very active, so please be ready to answer questions in the chat box, or maybe I will ask you to speak. We're here to share together. This is not just a TV show for you to watch, it's interactive. Okay, like you should have your lessons be interactive as well. So to start with, just remember that we don't forget everything about teaching just because we're doing it differently. The principles or the methodology is the same, but how we do it is different. So don't forget your foundation of teaching. Okay, so I have a brainstorming question here. Again, you can type in the chat box and I'll choose some people to answer. The statement is, well, understanding language primarily occurs through the meaning of words. Yes? So what's the purpose of grammar? We can communicate and we can understand bad grammar if the vocabulary is good, but we can't really do it the other way around. So what is the purpose of grammar? You could write in the chat box. You can raise your hand if you want to speak. I might choose some volunteers. What is the purpose of grammar? Okay, thank you. Wibek, is it to deliver the message correctly so no one will misunderstand? Good. Great. Grammar is to talk correctly. Good. Expressing proper timeline. Yes, English especially has a very detailed tense system. Yes, academic purposes for sure. Much easier. Good. Thank you, Richmond. Yes, thank you. Great answers here. The purpose of grammar is really to communicate clearly, either spoken or written, or when we're receiving text or audio. Yes, to express ideas correctly. So let's take a look at this sentence here. He fed her cat food. This sentence has two meanings. Can anyone understand what the two different meanings of this sentence could be? He fed her cat food. There's two different possibilities here. Anybody can figure it out? He fed her cat food. Great. Diane, there are two objects here, the woman and a cat food, yes? Yes, great. Yes. Yeah, great. Okay, yes. So here, are we talking about her cat or her? So here, if we look at the possibility is, he gave some food to her cat, or he gave her cat food, food that is made for cats. So that would be the way to fix it. Yeah, he served cat food to her, or he fed her cat. With good grammar, we can make the sentence more clear. So that's the purpose here. because the purpose of grammar we can see here, the vocabulary is almost the same. It's I, eat, and pizza. The vocabulary is almost the same in every sentence, but with the different verb tense particularly, it gives us a lot more information about when. So, next is grammar usually presented before or after vocabulary? Do we teach grammar before or after vocabulary in a lesson? You can type before or after in the chat box. Or vocab first, or grammar first, whichever one you think. After, good. Everyone's quick on that, good. Great. Okay, yes. So we need to teach grammar after. Vocab first, grammar second. Why? Why? Acha, maybe you can choose someone to explain why.
Maybe I will choose Miss Effie Lindiawati.
Okay. Hey, Evie, how are you?
Hi,
Hello,
fine.
Miss Effie.
Mr. Todd.
And why should we teach vocab first, grammar second?
Previously, because when we talk about communicative teaching, students learn more after by understanding the sentence first, then we come to the context of the situation, whether it is in the present, past, future, then we start discussing the rules.
Yes.
That's what I think.
Great, thank you. You mentioned some keywords there, context and meaning. Grammar without vocab cannot be done. It makes no sense. If you say, okay, everybody, subject plus verb plus ing plus object, what? What are we talking about? It's too abstract by itself. So first we start with vocab so we can build sentences. And also we talk about context because meaning, grammar meaning comes from the situation. So it's really important that vocab comes first and then grammar. Great. And the next question, is grammar, let's talk about in a book. Let's say you're using a Cambridge book like Supermind or Kids Box, or you're using Oxford Family and Friends, Everybody Up, or you're using Marshall Cavendish, My Pals Are Here, or you're using one of our Astor titles, Hangout, Big Show. Is grammar in a text or an audio or a song before or after the grammar is explained usually? Can you remember from your textbooks? Most modern textbooks all follow this same system. Can anyone remember? Good, thanks Evie. We've got, yep, before. Does everyone agree? Yep, great. Again, it can change with the textbook that you're using. It's not all textbooks are the same. Most follow the before method. So let's take first we usually have vocab, then we have a text or a listing or a song, and then usually we have grammar presentation. So if you're making your own materials, that is the method I would suggest. So let's take a look here. The method is vocab activities, then reading or listening activities, which have the vocab but show the grammar. Then we analyze the grammar from the text or the listening because it makes sense then, it's in context. Then we check comprehension of grammar and then we do grammar practice. That's the typical method of a contextual grammar lesson, especially with most books nowadays. Today, we're just going to focus on the last three because this is not a vocab or a reading or a listening workshop. In the future, we'll have those, but today we're looking at grammar. So we're looking at grammar presentation. That's when you're teaching the grammar, which is the main section. Comprehension checking, we're looking at different methods for that, and grammar practice. Now again, all of the activities from today are adaptable to different grammar topics and to different books. We still look at the same processes. This example is taken from Family and Friends. This is from Oxford. Level 4. I'll show you some lower level examples later. This is level 4. And we can see here, what's first? Vocab. What's second? Text. What's third? Grammar. So in most books now, most modern English language books, textbooks, student books, you'll find this method. So that's what we're going to focus on today. Let's zoom in here, and our zoom in is the grammar presentation. Okay, so imagine you've already taught vocabulary, you've already taught the reading. Okay, so now we're looking at the grammar. So here we have the grammar explanation, but if I say to my students, I'll just read this, you understand? Okay, great. Of course, we need to do more than that, so let's take a look. And what do students really need to know about grammar? Most of this is contained in your book, usually all of it. But as a teacher, we need to know what is there and how can we teach it in different ways. So what do students need to know about grammar? In the chat box, if you could type your answers, what do they need to know? There are 3 things. If you can think, 3. You see my hand? Yes? Oh, 3. 3 things that students need to know about grammar. In the chat box, type your answers, and then maybe we'll choose 1 or 2 people to explain. Okay? Great, to help them write or speak it correctly, good. So correctly would be looking at the form, so how we make that grammar. Yep, good. Forms of verbs, good. So again, form, yep. The structure, good. The structure is the same as form. Rules, yep, good. Rules could be like use, application, good. Form, function, good. Context, pattern, yes. There are lots of different names for the same thing. Some people have said pattern, some have said form, some said have structure. Use, definitely. Use is also application. When do we use it? Yep, yep, okay, great, fantastic. I think you've got the ideas. How we explain it in, according to the Cambridge. Hello? Make sure everyone's muted, thank you. According to the Cambridge method, we look at meaning, form, and use. So they're the 3 things we need to look at. Let's take a look at what that means. Meaning, form, and use. Again, everybody will get a copy of the slides as a PDF in the handout. So all of this information is there. So here, we're looking at the meaning. The meaning means, what does that sentence mean? Vocabulary combined with grammar. That's why we need to start with vocab first, otherwise it's too difficult. So the meaning is presented in context. That's why also, if you are using your own materials, you should always do vocab, then text or audio, and then grammar, because then you have examples to show students. Then the sentences are taken from the text to give examples with related pictures. Don't forget that pictures are not just for teaching vocab. Pictures are great for teaching grammar. It really helps make it clear, especially for young learners. So let's look at ways of how to do this online. Yes, that's what we're here for today. So after the story, this is what I would say. So you are all my grade 4 students now, okay? So then I would ask, okay, we just read a story about a family comparing something. Everybody, what does compare mean? What does compare mean? And what objects did they compare? You can write in the chat box again. What does compare mean? And good, find differences, good. Thank you. Find differences, good. What else does compare mean? Find similarities. Good. Yes, it's differences and similarities. Fantastic. Classifying. Yep. Good. Yes, similarities and difference. Good. And in the story, what did they compare? Did everybody read the text before the session today? If not, here is the text. I'll give you just a minute to read. Yep, fantastic. Great, yes. They're talking about comparing a bed. Yes. And then I would show the part of the book that's presenting the structure and say, okay, everybody, these are some sentences from the book talking about the beds, and we are comparing them in different ways. My bed is more comfortable than this one. Everybody repeat. My bed is more comfortable than this one. Good job. It's less expensive than the new bed, everybody. So we repeat the example sentences, okay? Because we're just looking at meaning now, not the form. We'll worry about the more than, less than, adjectives, syllables later. First, we're just looking at the meaning. Okay, so if we use the same idea, let's compare these toys. Again, students are probably not very interested in talking a lot about how comfortable a bed is, yeah? So we can use the context of comparing things in the home, and we can talk about toys, because expensive is one of the key words. So how can we compare these toys? How can we compare these toys? Ocha, can we choose a few people to speak about their answers or explain their answers? Thank you.
I will invite Miss Stephanie.
Okay, Miss Stephanie Winter, is it?
Yes.
Miss Stephanie
Hello,
Winter?
Miss
Yep.
Stephanie.
Hello.
Hello, Miss Stephanie.
Hello.
Where are you at the moment? Which city?
Oh, I'm in my school.
Great. In which city?
Oh, in Jambi.
Okay, in Jambi, in Sumatra, yes? Great,
Yeah,
thank you.
correct. Yeah.
So how can we compare these things?
Okay, by the price, by the size, the colors, how to play it, how to use it.
Okay, great.
The packaging also.
Fantastic. So can you make a sentence using the model before of using more expensive than?
Okay. The robot is smaller than the house.
Great. The robot is smaller than the house. Good job. Thank you, Miss Stephanie.
Okay, thank you.
And then, of course, I would ask other students to make some comparisons. Here, I'm not focusing on mistakes. I'm just getting them to get the idea that we're comparing things, because we're focusing on meaning and not the form yet, okay? So I would do that with that kind of thing. Then I would give it example sentences that are correct. And, okay, repeat after me, everybody. The robot is more expensive than the dollhouse. Everybody? The robot is more expensive than the dollhouse. Very good. The dollhouse is more expensive than the Lego. Everybody? The dollhouse is more expensive than the Lego. Good. So then I show them some correct sentences here. Again, we're focusing on the meaning at the moment. Okay? Great. Now, what about this? The grey chair is more comfortable. Who wants to complete this sentence for me? The grey chair. Ocha, can you choose someone, please? The grey chair is more comfortable.
I will invite Mr. Victor. Hello, Mr. Victor.
Yes, hello, Miss.
Hi, Victor. How are you today?
I'm good today. Thank you.
Great. And where are you at the moment? Which city are you in?
I live in Jakarta.
Okay, great. Not too far from me then.
Yeah.
So could you please complete this sentence? Start from the beginning, read, and then complete.
Okay. The gray chair is more comfortable than the green chair.
Fantastic. Thank you. And what about this one? Victor, again, in a real class, I would choose different students, but for today, Victor, can you do this again for me? Thank you.
Okay, the green chair is less comfortable than the red chair.
Fantastic. So here, I'm just getting them to complete a little bit of a sentence. Again, we're focusing on the meaning with some example sentences using more than, less than, the most, the least. So there's 4 sentence patterns here. It's quite a lot of grammar to teach. Okay, so that's how I would do at the moment, just the presentation of the meaning. Next, the form. This is the structure. So here in the text, in the student book, the grammar is presented in a way that highlights the different words. But again, this is not very necessary. I think students need a bit more to make it more enjoyable, more memorable, more interactive. Yeah? If I say to my students, read and copy, boring. So how can we do this? One of the great things about teaching online is that students can see the board clearly, and we can use lots of different colors, objects, animation, movement to make it interesting. Okay, everybody, so here we have the sentence for today. My bed is more comfortable than that one. That is the sentence from the story. But I want to make a new sentence, okay? What are we going to talk about? Let's talk about these beds, the spaceship bed and my bed. So how can we make the same sentence but change the vocabulary? So instead of my bed, we're going to say that bed, or the spaceship bed, but that bed. Do we say is or are? Is or are? How many objects is it? Is it just one? Great, so it is, fantastic. And we're going to use, again, more. We're not going to use comfortable. What is the word we are going to use? Cheap. We're going to use, because we have numbers here, expensive. So more expensive than, and again, so the last will be mine or my bed, you could put as well. Fantastic. So you can see, for today, all we need to do is follow the pattern, but we just change the vocabulary. Okay, let's try the next sentence. Again, this is the sentence from the story. It is less expensive than a new bed. It. Can anyone remember what it was talking about? It. It was talking about, yeah, the old bed, getting it fixed. Yeah, fantastic. Okay, great. So now I want to compare these things. This is my robot. I have a robot, and this is a new robot. We're going to follow the same sentence, but the same pattern, but we're going to change the vocab. Okay. So everybody, do we write it? What word should come first? It will be, yeah, my robot. Good. Is it is or am or are? What should it be? Very good. Is less. We're going to follow the less pattern. So less, not expensive. We don't know how much the price is. So how are we going to compare? Remember earlier, one of the vocab words was modern. Good. This was a word we taught before the story. Good. Is less modern than my robot. Oh, sorry, a new robot. Everybody repeat. My robot is less modern than a new robot. Repeat.
My robot is less modern than a new robot.
Fantastic. Everyone again. My robot is less modern than a new one. Fantastic. Then we repeat for the most and the least. Okay, the robot is the most modern toy. We repeat for the least as well, with a different adjective and different objects. So when we're teaching the structure, you see here I haven't said verb plus ing plus object plus subject. That is very confusing for students. Instead, grammar is a pattern that we repeat. And we can do that through blocks of words, color code them, and get them to copy the pattern. I find that this is the easiest way to teach this for primary students. Now we have also down the bottom here, we have one last thing to talk about form, and form is the verb form. This is probably something you've already done because it's just a review, but let's take a look. How can we do this? Okay, everybody, see here with a two-syllable adjective ending in Y, we had IER or the est. Let's take a look. Angry. How many syllables? Angry. Angry. Good. So it becomes angrier than. Let's repeat. Angrier than. Again, angrier than. Good. Boys. Girls. Good. So you can get students to repeat after this. What about busy? Busier than. How many syllables? Dirty. Dirtier than. If you want to, you can spell aloud, but that's probably a bit of a waste of time for grade 4 because there's so many words to look at. So we go through how many syllables, happier than, good, how do we say it? Happier than, again, happier than, again, happier than, faster, happier than, again, happier than. You can do it boys, girls, faster, slower, up high, happier than. Happier than, happier than, happier than. Drilling vocabulary is boring. So if you have a lot of vocabulary like this to practice pronunciation, you can do actions or high, low, happy, sad, fast, slow. It makes drilling a bit more interesting. And then, of course, this as well. English, and then I would get my students to write these down in their notebook, in their workbook. Okay, everybody, please write these down. We need to practice spelling, so this is a good way. Okay? Now, that's one way to do the form. But an alternative way is to show other example sentences and guide students. So instead of telling them, you ask them. This is really good, especially for low-level learners. So this is primary 1. Sometimes teachers say, how do I teach grammar? Primary 1. So here is how I do it. We need example sentences, at least 3. Minimum 3. 4 is good, 3. This is primary 1. Okay, everybody, let's read sentence number 1 together, okay? There is one pink pencil. Again, there is one pink pencil. Good. Again, louder. There is one pink pencil. Quietly. There is one pink pencil. And when you're doing drilling, make it fun, loud, quiet, happy, sad, fast, slow. Make it enjoyable. Now, everybody, can you see one pink pencil? Where is one pink pencil? Is it this picture in the middle? No. Is it this picture? No, it's this picture. Good. Now, number 2, there are 3 blue chairs. There are 3 blue chairs. There are 3 blue chairs. Repeat and do the same for sentence 3. Now, we want to look at the grammar. So, I ask, okay, everybody, let's look at sentence number 1. Where is the object word? Where is the word pencil? Oh, is it this word? No. Is it this word? No. It's good, this word. Now, let's look at sentence number 2. Where is the word chair? Where is the thing, the chair? Oh, it's at the end. Very good. Okay, again, there are 2 green erasers. Where is the word eraser? Is it the first word? The second word? The third word? The fourth word? No, it's the 5th word. Good, so we can practice numbers again. Okay, everybody. Now we have to be detectives. We need to find the color word. There is one pink pencil. What color is the pencil? It's good. It's pink. Where is the word pink? Is it the first word? Is it the second word? No. The third word? The fourth word. Good. Now, let's look at sentence 2. There are 3 blue chairs. What color are the chairs? Blue. Good. Now, let's find, detective, let's find the word blue. And again, is it the first word? Is it the second word? No. We do the same for erasers. Now, one more thing we have to find. We have to find the number. There is 1 pink pencil. How many? 1. Good. Let's find the word 1. Is it the first word? No. Is it the second word? No. Is it? Yes, it's this word. And we repeat. There are 3 blue chairs. How many chairs? 3. Where is the word 3? And we circle it or put it in a box or underline it. Okay. Now, can you see a sentence when we talk about classroom things, we say number, color, and then the object. Okay? So 1 pink pencil. Repeat. 1 pink pencil. 3 blue chairs. Repeat. 3 blue chairs. 2 green erasers. Repeat. 2 green erasers. Very good. So let's try here. What can you see here? Is it a bag? Is it a whiteboard? No, what can we see? We can see a book. Very good, book. What color are the books? Orange, very good. How many books are there? There's 1? 2? Good, there are 4 books. So I say there are books for orange. Yes? Books for orange. No. Oh, what do I say? I say for orange books. Good. We have number, color, object. Let's try with the, what's this? Scissors. Very good. How many scissors are there? 1, 2. Show me with your hands. How many? Excellent. 5. What color are they? Are they black? Are they purple? No. What color are they? They are brown. Fantastic. Okay, so everybody listen. There are scissors, brown, 5. Yes? Oh, okay. There are brown 5 scissors. No. Okay, everybody, let's repeat. There are 5 brown scissors. Again, 5 brown scissors. So for grammar for lower primary, present pictures, example sentences, and then get them asking questions about the order of the words, and then do a quick comprehension check. For higher levels, let's say here we're talking about modal verbs. This is a grade upper primary. Remember, this is after we have taught the vocabulary, so they know the words already. Look at the bold verbs. The bold verbs are must, should, mustn't, and can't. What type of verb is after the bold verb? What type of verb? Is this ing? Yes? No. Is this ed, past verb, verb to? No. Do we have to? We must to wear. We should to complete? No. So after our modal verb, we need just the base verb. I call it the plain verb. Itu kata kerja yang polos. It's not extra pedas. There's no extra sauce. There's nothing extra added. It's just the basic verb. Yeah. So after we call this the base verb actually. Infinitive is to. Where, for example. So infinitive means to. So it's not the infinitive form. It's what we call the base verb, which is the plain verb. Itu kata kerja yang polos. No extra pedas, no extra crispy, nothing, no extra garlic, just plain. Yep. Also, explaining grammar in some funny ways helps students remember. Oh yes, it's the kata kerja yang polos. Not spicy, no garlic, no extra sauce, no iced tea on the side. It's just basic. Yeah. So now we're looking at use. Sometimes use is explained very explicitly in the book. For here, use the past perfect for one thing that happened in the past before another thing that happened in the past. It's useful, but it's confusing sometimes. And sometimes the book does not have this explicitly. Maybe it's in your teacher's book. So sometimes for our focus for today, which is comparative and superlative, it doesn't tell us when to use. So we have to ask questions. Okay? So if it's not in the teacher's book or in a reference book, or you can look at Uncle Google. Uncle Google knows lots of things. But when do we use the comparative? And when do we use the superlative? So for my students, I'm going to show them the example sentence and ask a very specific question. How many things are we comparing? How many things? 1, 2, 3, 2. Fantastic. So, more than is for 2 things. What about, and also less than? More than, less than, I would also show the less than slide. It's 2 things. 2 things only. This is the least expensive or the most comfortable. How many things are we comparing? 1? We can't compare one thing to itself. 2? No. 3? 4? Yes. So when we use the most or the least, it's more than 2. So 3 or more. So that's the use of the comparative. 2 things, superlative, 3 or more. That's all students need to know for the use. If you're teaching a verb tense, then they need to know this. The present simple is for habits and routines, for example. Okay, and then we look back at the book. So the first sentences are for comparing 2 things, and the second sentences are for comparing 3 or more things. Pictures also really help with explaining grammar. The house was ugly, but now it's pretty. So why am I using the past simple and now the present simple? What is the purpose of me using the past simple and the present simple? If I want to use the past simple first and then the present simple, what use? What am I doing? I am using this to show how something has changed. Or comparing time, thank you, Diane. Comparing the past to the present. So when we compare things, we can also compare time. Yes, great. And this would be from a different lesson. This would be from the lesson before with the past simple, present simple. Okay, good. Condition as well, yes. Condition as, I'm not sure, we don't have your name. Comparing the condition, so it's comparing the past to the present. Yeah. Okay. Another way to compare, especially verb tenses, is with timelines. Yep, timelines are really good for tenses because it's visual, and because Indonesian doesn't have a time system the same, it can confuse students, especially if it's the past before the past of another continuous action in the past. We'll sing. So something visual is very helpful. A timeline can do this. But a timeline isn't enough. What do? We also ask questions. So what time period did this, I was watching television when the phone rang, is that past, present, or future? It's past. Very good, everyone. How many actions were there? Good. Yes, 2 actions. We know this from the verbs, watching and rang. Our verbs are the actions, but yeah, two things happen. And which action happened first? Watching TV or the phone rang? Which one happened first? Great, watching TV. Yep, fantastic, everyone. So timelines with questions are great to help students understand verb tense. Okay, comprehension checking. After we have done the presentation part, then we have to check to see if our students understand. Okay, so we're going to talk again about concept checking questions for comparative and superlative. Maybe I'm going to ask for a volunteer. Acha, could you choose, or if anyone wants to be a volunteer, please raise your hand. You'll just be answering these questions about that sentence. If anybody wants to volunteer, or maybe Mr. Sugiyato, would you like to help us out? Mr. Sugiyato?
Hello, Mr. Sugito. Would you please unmute yourself first?
Sugito?
Yeah.
Yes, I am.
Good afternoon, Mr. Sugito.
Good afternoon.
And where are you teaching at the moment? Where are you? Which
I'm
city?
teaching in Primary Global Islamic School in the east of Jakarta. Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah.
So in the sentence, my bed is more comfortable than a wooden chair. Number 1, how many things are being compared?
2 things, my bed and the wooden chair.
Fantastic. Is the chair more comfortable than the bed?
No.
Good. Does the word comfortable have ER added to it?
No, with
No,
more.
good.
With
Yep,
more,
good.
yes.
And which words are before and after comfortable?
More.
Good.
More.
And after?
And
comfortable?
after then. So
Fantastic.
yeah, this is a comparative, yeah.
Yes.
So more and then the words and then followed by the word then.
That's it. Great. Thank you, Mr. Sugito.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thank you. So with these questions, question number 1 is talking about the use. How many things are being compared? That's a question to check understanding of the use. Question 2, is that checking meaning or checking form? Question 2 is checking the meaning. Question 2 is checking the meaning because I'm asking you to understand that whole sentence. What about questions 3 and 4? Are they checking meaning, form, how we make the sentence, or use? Yeah, great. Form. So when you're doing concept checking, you need to check the meaning, form, and use. Here, question 1 is use. Question 2 is meaning. Questions 3 and 4 are form. How do we make the sentence? Fantastic, everyone. Let's now look at the superlative. Okay. Acha, could you choose a volunteer for me, please, to answer these questions about the sentence?
Okay.
The purple armchair is the most comfortable chair in my house. Sorry, Acha, yes.
Okay, I will invite Miss Dian Puspita. Hello, Miss Dian Puspita.
Great, Miss Dian.
Halo,
Please unmute yourself first, Miss. Yeah.
Oh yeah, hello.
Hi.
Good afternoon.
Sebastian, where are you?
Hello.
Which city are you in at the moment?
I'm from Jakarta.
Okay, great. Not too far away from me. Okay.
Yeah.
So, the purple armchair is the most comfortable chair in my house. How many things are being compared? 2 or more than 2?
More than 2 things.
Good. Do we know how many chairs in the house?
No, we don't. But
No,
then
but
I guess that it will be more than 2.
yes, in a house we usually have more than 2 chairs.
Mm.
Good. Does the word comfortable have ER added to it?
No, it doesn't.
Good. Do we? Which word is before comfortable?
The most.
Good. Do we use than when comparing more than 2 things?
No, we don't.
Good. Thank you very much. So
You're
just with some
welcome.
simple questions like this, we can check to make sure they understand the meaning, the use, and the form. You could do this as a homework activity, but I feel that this is a good use of your teaching time. Let's make it simple. Let's say you're teaching grade 1 or grade 2, primary. He is kicking a ball, present continuous. This is low primary, yes? Put your hands up if you teach primary 1 or primary 2. Primary 1, primary 2 teachers, put your hands up. Give me a wave. Great. So this is for you. He is kicking a ball. When is this happening? Yesterday? Tomorrow? Or now? It's happening? Now. Good job, everybody. Is he kicking the ball now? Yes or no? Yes. Good job. Is he sitting down now? Yes. Then, with this question, we have a potential problem because I've had this with one of my students. Mister, I can kick a ball when I'm sitting down. So we have students who are thinking creatively, which is very good. So when we're doing this simple kind of activity for young learners, use a picture. This makes it clear. He is the boy that we can see. So with lower primary, for checking questions about grammar, use a picture. Is he sitting down now? No, because it's the boy there. I have question 1 is about use. Yeah, what's he doing now? Use. Question 2 and 3 are about meaning. So I'm missing a question about form. What question could I ask about form? I would ask something like, am I using ing, verb? Ing? Yes, kicking. That's probably all I need to do for lower primary. Ing for primary is happening now. Okay, now it's your turn. Imagine you're teaching grade 5 and the sentence is, I have eaten lunch. We have a picture here to help. I would like you to complete some questions that you would ask your students about this sentence and this picture. Okay? Great, you can type in the chat box as always. I'm going to ask some people to do. Good. In the past? Good. Yeah, when did it happen? Good. Good. When did it happen? That's the, thank you, Miss Hayatun. Nissa, thank you. That is the question. When did it happen? What other questions could you ask? You're asking about meaning, you're asking about form, you're asking about use. When did you eat lunch? Good. Yep, when did you eat lunch? To show that it's in the past. Good. What are some other questions? Good. When? Yep. What? Good. Good. Okay, good. Lots of great questions. I will show you my questions as an example. Here is, when did this happen? Already, now, or will in the future? Already, yes, in the past. Am I eating lunch now? Yes or no? Yes or no? No. Have I finished eating? Yes. Did I eat a long time ago or recently? Recently, one of the uses of the present perfect is to talk about something that's just happened, just finished. You see he's holding his plate, which means I've eaten. If it's something that happened yesterday, then we just use I ate, past simple. Good. Now, I don't have any questions about form, so I could ask, what verb did I use after have? Eat, ate, or eaten, depending on the level of your students. Okay. Another way we can check comprehension is to get students to make their own timeline. So you give them sentence. I have eaten lunch. I have read. I have watched 7 Harry Potter movies. I have hurt my leg, and they have to put them onto a timeline. Now, another way to do this, so we have questions, we have timelines, and also we have error correction. Why is error correction a great way to check understanding of grammar? Why is error correction a great way to check grammar comprehension? Can anyone know this? Maybe Miss Ocha, would you like to choose someone?
Yes, I will invite Miss Yobelina.
Okay, Miss Yobelina, good afternoon. Please introduce yourself. Tell us which school you're teaching at and which city you're in.
Hi, I teach in the same school as Miss Dian Puspita.
Okay, great. Okay, great. Thank you. And so, why is error correction a great activity?
So that the students can remember the form and also the types of verbs used in the tenses.
Good. And how is it different to just asking questions about grammar?
So they know in which part that the students made mistakes.
Mm-hmm. Good, yes. Great, yes. It's so that we can see if they not just understand but can apply the grammar. Yeah, if they can find mistakes and fix them, it means that they really understand and then can apply the grammar. So thank you, Miss Evelina, fantastic. But this we could do as a worksheet or something, but that's a bit boring. I'm going to do this activity I call correct or incorrect. Incorrect. Okay? I will show you a sentence. If it's correct, thumbs up. If it's incorrect, please put your hands like this. Are you ready, everyone? My bed are more comfortable than my sister's bed. Yes or no? Good, it's incorrect. Good job, everybody. How many mistakes? How many mistakes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 100? How many mistakes can you see? Good, in the chat box, good. 2. What are they? Fantastic. So from Intan, maybe, Ocha, can you ask Intan to fix the mistakes for me? So you said there are 2 mistakes. Can you read the sentence with the corrections?
Yes, Mr. Todd.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Intan. First of all, good afternoon, and where are you from?
I'm from Al-Azhar 58, Balikpapan.
Okay, great, Balikpapan in Kalimantan. Thank you very much. So, what are the mistakes?
The mistake is R, because it's only one object. It's supposed to be this. And then the second one is comfortabler, because it's more than one syllable, so it's supposed to be just more comfortable.
Fantastic. And can you read the correct sentence for me, please?
Okay, it's supposed to be my bed is more comfortable than my sister's bed.
Okay, let's take a look. Yes, fantastic. Thank you very much. Very good. So we can show sentences with mistakes, ask how many mistakes, and then get students to correct them. We just do this a couple of times, and then we can give a workbook task or a Google Drive, Google Form task. Another way to do this, I do with my very young learners. I ask before my class, prepare glasses and prepare a hat. If you don't have glasses or a hat next to you, you can do glasses or a hat. So instead of yes or no, we're going to do glasses or hat, okay? So this is something fun that students like because grammar is quite boring for young learners. So I show a sentence, it's the same idea. Is this sentence correct? Put your hat on, or incorrect? Put your glasses on. Our house is, I can't read because there are 100 things over the top of it. Correct, oh sorry, correct or incorrect? Everybody, if it's incorrect, you can show me glasses like this. Or correct, you can put a hat on. Good, yes everybody, it is incorrect. I've got my glasses. So before the lesson, you can get your students to prepare. It could be glasses, it could be a hat, something like this. Okay, and how many mistakes are there? How many mistakes are there? Good, 2 mistakes, fantastic. Ocha, could you please choose another person to give us the correct answer?
Okay, I will invite Miss Siti Huzaina.
Great, Miss Siti. Good afternoon, Miss Siti.
Oops, I'm sorry, Miss, we couldn't hear you clearly.
Maybe the internet connection.
Oh, is it clear?
Yes,
Yeah.
now I can hear
Okay.
you. Okay, Miss Siti, could you please tell us what are the mistakes?
So the mistake, yeah, more modernness. It Hello, is it clear?
I'm
No,
sorry,
I
we
didn't
couldn't
hear what
hear
you
your
said.
voice.
Okay, I will repeat once more.
Thank you.
Okay, so the mistake is more modernness. It's supposed to be most modern.
Yeah.
So the sentence is our house is the most modern house on Green Street. Is it clear?
That's it. Thank you so much. Thank you,
Okay.
Miss Siti. Thank you. Yes. So yes, we can do yes or no, or we can do yes with a hat and no with some glasses on. You could do yes, hands on head, no, hands on shoulders. It's just a great way to get students engaged, and you can see who is following, who is looking around and not paying attention. So it's a great way to check that students are watching you and listening. Let's take a look at the last part for today. Practice activities. Here, the teacher needs to think about and decide what book activities will you do in the live lesson, and maybe I want to use some extra activities. Okay? Why? What do we need to think of? We need to think of the classroom online as different from the classroom regularly. Now, for book activities, and this is just my personal opinion, it means make again activities online, or because if they have the book, we could use that for homework, or if you're using an e-book or a learner management system, then this can be done again as homework, and they're a bit more controlled. Controlled means they're very kind of general and book-based. Now, the benefit of an extra activity means that you can increase student participation, you can use apps online, you can make it more personalized, and it can be less controlled. Less controlled in terms of they're still following the grammar, The grammar is controlled, but it allows them to students can talk about themselves, which is a really good thing to get them to do. So what do I mean about this? Let's take a look at some extra activities. Because this is quite simple, I'm going to do this, but with an app. Okay, so of course some of you will be using Google Classroom, and some of you are already familiar with Google Forms. If not, there's 100 tutorials on YouTube you can watch to do that. I'm going to take a look at Nearpod. Maybe it's new for some of you. With Nearpod, we have two types of possibilities. We have content, which means you can add a video, you can add slides, Google Slide it. Web content into a virtual, like a museum. This place is listed. You can add audio, you can add a PDF. So this is for content. But what I'm interested mainly in is activities, because that's what I want is interaction. We can have quizzes, matching, gap fill. You can add a Flipgrid task, which is a video-based speaking activity, a memory test, collaboration if they're working together on a project. There's lots of different activities for this. So some of you might be familiar with quizzes or Kahoots. It has those functions in the time to climb part, but it has more. So I find this really useful. It's free and you can make a lot of different lessons. So there's no limit really, unlike some other ones. One of the great things about Nearpod is with the open-ended question, students can record their voice as the answer. So if you're giving speaking tasks, you can write the questions in the box and they can record by speaking. They can answer by speaking. So this is a great way to check speaking skills. So you write the questions and they have to answer. Or there's a dialogue, there's a story, there's a song, and they can record and submit through this. So I find it a really, really useful website. Let's take a look at this. Again, we can share the link maybe later with you. I will just demonstrate through my screen, but later you can look after the session. The link is valid for 30 days. It's free to sign up. It's free to create as much content. It integrates with Google Classroom. So I find it really useful. So let's take a look at that. I want to show you quickly what it looks like. Okay. It's really simple to use as well. You can embed videos from YouTube, images from Google. It's really quite a simple site to use. So one of the things we can do here is a multiple choice gap. So you could use this as a gap fill. You see you can insert pictures here as well. It's really easy. Also you can insert your audio as a question if you want to test listening. And so they do multiple choice. So here you can have up to 4 choices for your multiple choice. That's quizzes number 1 type that we want to do. The second type is gap fill. So I wrote a short text and they have to drag the words to fill the gaps. This is quite useful for students who can't quite type yet. They just have to drag and click on the response. Next is open-ended question. So I use this for writing. Write 2 sentences comparing things in your house. Example, my bed is the most comfortable one in our house. So you can use this for writing. Now, you can use this for things like sentence arrangement, but don't put the sentences in the instructions. I did this to show you one of the slight problems with Nearpod. Instead, just write the instructions and you can attach a PDF. So put your questions as a PDF or a Word document, and then students can open that and write the correct sentences. So the formatting is a bit weird on that, but you can attach a PDF with all of the questions on it, or the mixed up sentences, and they have to type the sentences correctly. As I said before, there is a function to record voice. So we can do that. I think this is the quiz. It's called Time to Climb. Yes. And so this you can play as a competition. It's the students who answer the questions correctly the fastest. If they get the questions wrong, it gives them a chance to answer again. So this is a true-false sentence about the comparative and superlative. Again, it's a quiz, so you can do that in class or you can do it after class. And finally, the last function I want to show you is the interactive video. So you can make a video yourself if you want to, if you're good at making videos and you have the time, or you can find something on YouTube. Here, I found a video about comparative and superlative forms. If it will play. And it's talking about superheroes. Superheroes is something that students enjoy, so it's making grammar a bit more enjoyable. Hello, Mr. Video. Well, later when we give you the link, you can check this out. But with the video, you can upload a YouTube video and then you put questions. So the video stops, students have to answer a question. If they get it correct, then the video continues. And they have multiple chances to answer the question. Yeah, you can check that out later. You can check that out later. The link to the Nearpod and link to the slides will be sent later. Anyway, check out Nearpod. It integrates with Google Classroom and has some fun, interactive ways to do grammar activities. Also, of course, then the teacher can get the teacher's report about how long it took students to do it, the correct and incorrect answers. I don't use it as an assessment tool. I just use it as a practice tool. Okay? So yes, you have 30 days. Another fun activity we can do here is a change your hat if. So again, students can put on a hat. And I'm asking questions using the grammar. So here is tidier than, friendliest person. So change your hat. So we need different hats. You can have 2, 3, 4, as many hats as you want. It could be glasses, it could be something else. Change your hat if you are tidier than your brother or sister. So if that's yes, we change your hat. If it's no, we keep our hat on. Change hats if you are the friendliest person in your family. Again, if it's yes, they change hats. If it's no, then they keep the same hat on. It's just a fun way to get lower primary interested in grammar activities. That's more of a listening activity. What about a speaking activity? Now we have a question and answer that we do around the classroom. So for example, I ask the question, which is more expensive, a chair or a bed? And then I ask a student, Ocha, could you choose someone, please? Choose a volunteer to be my student, please.
Yes, I will invite Mr. Khairul Muslim. Hello, Mr. Khairul.
Mr. Khairul. Are you there?
Please unmute yourself first. Okay, thank you, sir.
Hello.
Good afternoon, Mr. Khairul.
Good afternoon, sir.
Great. And where are you from? Which city are you in today?
I'm from Medan, sir.
From where, sorry? Medan?
Medan, yeah. No, Sumatera.
Great. Yes, I've been to Medan many times.
Yeah.
People drive very fast in Medan. Okay. So could could you please answer the question here? You're going to be my student B. Which is more expensive, a chair or a bed? The answer is?
Okay. I think a bed is more expensive than a chair. Because it is luxurious.
Good. Yes. You get, and again, we could ask students to use the comparative again. It's more luxurious than a chair, or it's bigger than a chair, or it's, yeah, good. Fantastic. Thank you, Mr. Khairul. Then we want to personalize. So, Mr. Khairul, this is your again. What is the most comfortable room in your house, Mr. Khairul? Are you still there? Don't leave me.
Hello, Mr. Khairul.
It's okay.
Oh,
yes, you're back.
already
Great.
unmuted.
Thank you. So, Mr. Khairul, what is the most comfortable room in your house?
The most comfortable room in my house is my bedroom.
Because?
Because I can sleep all there.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you. And then now, Mr. Khairul, in a class, I would ask that student who answered my question to choose another student to ask the same question. So, Mr. Khairul, can you choose somebody that you can see? Or Ocha, maybe you can choose. Maybe that's easier. Ocha, can you choose somebody else?
Yes.
And Mr. Khairul, you will ask the question to that person.
I will invite Miss Betiana. Hello, Miss Betiana. Please unmute yourself first.
Hi.
Okay, great. Hey, Miss Betiana. Thank you.
Hi, nice to meet you.
And Ocha, could you please, you can be my other student. You can be the A. So, Miss Ocha, could you please ask Miss Betiana the question?
Okay. So, Miss Betiana, what is the most comfortable room in your house?
Actually, the most comfortable room in my house is my bedroom because I can sleep there, I can take the rest, I can do anything there.
Great, thank you. Now, Miss Betiana, could you please ask the question to Ocha? Can you choose somebody else?
Who, me? Yeah, I choose.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh yes, if you want to choose.
You
yes,
can mention the name.
Miss Pony.
Pony.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
Hello, Miss Pony. Please.
Hello. Good afternoon, all.
Miss Pony. Great.
Hey, Miss Pony.
Hi, Miss Betty.
What is the most comfortable room in your house?
The most comfortable room in my house is my bathroom because I have bathtub, so I can spend my time in there.
Fantastic. Thank
That's
you.
right.
Thank you, everyone. So the idea is the teacher asks a student first, then the student asks another student. And because you're in a class together, they'll know each other's names. And we can repeat that as many times as we want to. Again, which is more enjoyable? Again, students can talk about their home and it's useful, but also they are more interested in other things. They are interested in movies, characters, sports, food, many other things. Talking about how comfortable your bed is isn't quite something that a lot of primary students want to talk about a lot. So maybe I have 4 or 5 students do that first. And now, Ms. Vonnie, are you still there, Ms. Vonnie? Thank you. Could you please, you're going to be my student A, and can you please ask that question? You can choose anybody in the group.
Okay, I will choose, wait for a second. I will choose Miss Putu Yanti.
Great. Thank you.
Are you there? Hello.
Is it Miss Putuyanti?
Yes, Miss Putuyanti.
Hello, Miss Putuyanti. Would you please unmute yourself and also please turn on the video so we can see your face? Yeah. Hello, Miss Putu.
Yes.
Okay, so Miss Bunny, could you please ask the question?
Okay. Which one is more enjoyable, Minions or Avengers?
I think Minions. Wait. Minions is more enjoyable than Avengers because Minions it looks funny.
Great, thank you. Now, Miss Putu, could you please choose somebody else to ask the same question?
Wait, please. I see for the participants. Mr. Ludi Supridradana.
Oh, he's one of our staff. he's
sorry.
been Mentari, so somebody else.
Oh, all right. I don't know. Okay. Oh, sorry. Maybe Miss Christina Susan Purba.
Great, Miss Christina, are you there?
Miss Christina. Oh yeah. Okay, Miss. I'm going to ask you, which one is more enjoyable, Minions or Avengers, Miss?
Hello, Miss Christina?
Yes, we cannot hear your voice.
I think it's about technical issue, yeah.
Okay, no problem. We get the idea. Okay, thank you. Thank you. And so in the class, you can, do this. Which is the most delicious food? Again, so what we do is we look at the grammar from the book, we practice using the vocabulary from the book, but then it's really important to personalize and use things that are either enjoyable, like the Minions movie, and also food, maybe that's a review topic. We are always looking for ways to review language. So whenever we learn a new grammar topic, don't forget we can repeat past vocabulary to help remind them of it. And of course, there are also some interesting topics. Everybody likes talking about food. Well, almost everyone. Okay, so what do we talk about here as other speaking activities? Of course, we can do speaking activities like we just did, or we can do Zoom breakout rooms, but we have to send the questions first because when we break out, they can't see the screen. For higher levels, we can ask them to create their own Google meeting and record and send the meeting to you. This is quite good for grades 5 and 6, especially in the group. There'll be somebody who is good with technology. This is good for task-based learning. That means they have a project to work on. You can't listen to every group, but you want them to record. They do have to set up their own Google meeting for that though. Or as homework. So it can be recorded and sent to the teacher. That can be via the parent's phone, it can be via the laptop or tablet camera, or even through Flipgrid. I don't have time to talk about Flipgrid today, but there's a lot of information on the internet about it. It's like a video site where you record a video giving instructions to your students and your students record videos and the whole class can watch each other's videos and comment on them. The teacher has the power to approve videos before they're posted to make sure that they're okay and there's not anything silly or inappropriate. What about writing? Again, if we're writing for grammar, we need to make sure we're doing the practice or the processes done together. Zoom can be good for brainstorming writing. Lower levels, we want them to practice with their pen or pencil. Of course, we photograph this. This is what you're already doing, I'm sure, or an online book. If you're interested in online books for Cambridge and Oxford and for Big Show and Hangout, please talk to one of our education consultants after this. And for higher levels, you can do like a Google Classroom, Google Drive, where everybody can put their writing or they can collaborate together. This isn't a workshop about writing, but just to show you that after grammar, they need to do some writing practice. So again, as the teacher, we need to always make sure that we are questioning ourselves. What activities are we going to use from the book? Can we put some of those online with Nearpod or Google Form? What can be done as self-study? Am I going to use an official website like the Cambridge LMS or the Oxford online practice books? But as you can see, they're controlled. The joy about adding extra activities is that we can add things like superheroes, food, hobbies, Indonesian life. We can add vocabulary that they'll need for things like Indonesian food, Indonesian sports, Indonesian animals, for example, so we can make it more culturally relevant. And it means that they can be less controlled, meaning they can really express themselves, talk about their own life, their own house, their own objects, their own opinions about what they think is more than, less than, the most, the least. You could also combine this with CLIL lesson about famous buildings, which is the tallest building in the world, and they have to do an internet web quest. Which is the fastest animal in the world, which is the longest river. So there's lots of applications for online learning. We have to remember that now, most of the time, we won't be with them face to face, and we can really explore different opportunities for them to do offline after class time tasks. So, in summary for today, grammar must be presented in context. What do I mean by context? Ms. Ocha, could you please choose a volunteer or two to explain what in context means?
Okay, I will invite Miss Wiwi. Hello, Miss Wiwi. Please unmute yourself first. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, hello.
Hello, good afternoon. First,
afternoon,
can you
sir.
please tell me which school you're working at and which city you're in?
Yeah, I'm working at SD Pelita Harapan Bangsa, which is the same workplace like Miss Siti Kuzaina earlier.
Great.
Yeah, and it's in Tegal.
Okay, great, thank you. And what does in context mean? When I say grammar must be presented in context, what am I talking about?
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
I think the
Yes.
connection is not.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
I can.
Yeah.
So when we say grammar must be presented in context, what does that mean?
Grammar must be presented in context. Because if we only deliver it with without the context.
Yeah, just the rules, for example.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
For just the rule, probably if not presented in context, student can get confused or misunderstand which form that they have to make or things like that. That is why it is very important to present it in context. Pictures are really, really helpful, yeah, because in my experience in teaching, if only contexts are related to each other, they can give a big help for young learner to understand more.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Ms. Lily. Thank you. Yes.
Welcome.
Without a topic, context we can think of as theme or topic, food, weather, objects in the house, objects in the classroom. Without a topic, grammar makes no sense to students. And pictures, yes, sometimes we think of pictures as just for vocab, but pictures are great for grammar as well. Students need to know meaning, form, and use. Now, what does form mean? Form, meaning, we understand what meaning means. That's the meaning of the sentence. But what about form? Acha, can you choose somebody, please, to talk about form? What does form mean?
I will invite Miss Gabriel Vera.
Great.
Hello, Miss Gabriel Vera. Yeah. I think we couldn't hear you. I'm sorry, maybe it's because of the connection. So
Okay,
maybe we can move to the other
from there.
participants. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Miss Gabriel. We can with Mr. Richmond, maybe, yeah. Hello, Mr. Richmond. Please unmute yourself first.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, Miss.
Good afternoon, Mr. Richmond. Yes, where are you teaching at the moment, or where are you in the country?
I am teaching at Binatunas Bangsa. It's in the North Jakarta, sir.
Okay, great. Thank you. And when we talk about grammar form, what am I talking about?
Sir, when we are talking about grammar form, we are pertaining to the structure or the syntax of the grammar, wherein we should learn. It's like the anatomy of the sentence or the statement.
Thank you. And while you're there, can you also tell us about use?
Use is like the physiology. It's like the semantics. What is the function of these grammar in relation to semantics and to pragmatism?
Yeah,
how are they related? And yeah, something like that, sir.
Because often students can copy a sentence in terms of form, but they're not always sure when to use it. Like, when do I use the past present, past perfect versus past simple? So that use of when a grammar is appropriate, a structure is appropriate, is something that I think a lot of students need more practice with. Sometimes we forget to comprehension check that, or do activities that are not just make this sentence into the past simple. We need to really check that use. Like, are you using this in the right sentence? So a way to do that can be things like in a paragraph, they have to change the verbs to match the right tense, but you're not, to mix of tenses. Yeah, great. Thank you, Mr. Richmond. Thank you for your input. Check comprehension of meaning, form, and use. We did this through concept checking questions, make them simple. We did this through timelines for verb tenses, and we also did this through error correction. So there are 3 different ways we can check comprehension. Questions, timelines, error correction. Link grammar to real life. That's when I used examples about in your house, what's the most comfortable room, which is more exciting, Avengers or Minions. What is your most favorite food, or the most delicious food? Every time we need to think about how can I get students to talk about themselves, because it makes it meaningful. Reading, writing, speaking, and listening, of course, with grammar. Why? It helps students remember. If I'm learning something new, if I just watch it, for example, I watch someone play basketball, I'm not going to know how to play. I might remember some things, but if I watch plus do plus participate plus hear plus all of the skills, it helps us remember. And finally, decide what is useful for you to do face-to-face. I find for grammar presentation and comprehension checking, that was part 3 and 4, all the way, and signal. Part 3 and part 4 to be the most useful. They can do more exercises at home during online learning. Yeah, so I would focus primarily on interactive activities like, remember, error correction with glasses or with a hat or with different actions, blocking the sentences by colored blocks that They can just change the vocab, figure out what is a good use of your time. I don't think grammar exercises are a good use of class time unless you're doing it through an interactive app like Nearpod, Google Form, Quizlet, whatever else you're using. Okay, Acha, over to you. That's all from me in terms of the content that I need to deliver today, but it's time for questions. So Acha, I'll hand over to you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Todd, for the useful information. So, educators, if you would like to ask to Mr. Todd or you want to deliver your ideas, you can type it on the chat box or use the raise hand feature. Silakan Bapak Ibu yang ingin bertanya kepada Mr. Todd bisa menggunakan fitur raise hand atau bisa menuliskannya di chat box ya. Silakan. Is there anybody who would like to ask? Okay, we have Miss Intan Fajrian. Hello, Miss Intan.
Hello, Mr. Todd Cordy.
Yes, hello, Miss Intan. How are you again?
Yeah. Okay, hi. Sorry. Okay, so actually I'm teaching 4th and 5th grade now.
Okay, yes.
Okay. And then my question is sometimes when now I'm using Supermind 4 and Supermind 5.
Okay, yes.
And in Supermind, the grammar is inside the stories, and also it's also explanation. But our time for teaching English actually for only one period a week. So it's only about 30 under 60 minutes a week. So when we talk about grammar itself, just teaching grammar itself, it's quite harder and more difficult because we also teach 4 skills and we also give them fun activities like watching the stories and then dialogue and then blah, blah, blah. So how can I present the grammar in just short time like that situation, especially 4th and 5th grade? I mean, it's more challenging.
Yes. First of all, I would, we want to look at this idea of what's called the flipped classroom, which means that you give students a task to do before your lesson, especially because you only have one period a week. So maybe your homework is read the story on page 75. So then they've already read the in context. So you can start straight away with the presentation.
So we don't have to explain the grammar, sir? I mean,
yes. So they just do the story at home first. Just tell them to read the story. Then you start the presentation with, good morning, everybody. You remember the story you read. Let's take a look at the sentence. You still need to do something about meaning and form and use. Today I took a long time and showed you lots of different activities. You don't have time to do them all. I just wanted to show you the different types of things that you could do. So in a short time, you would do one activity for meaning, which could be questions about the reading. And that's a good way to review the reading. Then something about form, where remember I used the colored boxes to build the sentences. And then use would be, again, a few simple questions like a timeline or like some concept checking questions. For example, how many things are we comparing? So when we say more than, we only compare how many things. It can be done in about 10 minutes. The grammar presentation is really how long it should take. 10 to 15 at the most. And then you've got 5 minutes for, I would say 10 minutes for meaning, form, and use presentation, 5 minutes for concept checking questions, and then 15 minutes for activities is what I would say. Remember that written activities they can do for homework. So
reading and written can do by homework, and then
yep.
I can,
Because this is the only time they speak English, try to get them to do things like question and answer, correct or incorrect, correct the sentence. I think that's a good use of time. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr.
Thank you so much. Yes, okay. Yes, how to teach students who cannot even read and write. Someone has answered, someone has asked the question. And we've got a similar question from Emiliana and Mr. Kyril as well about, we're probably talking about kindergarten or low-level primary that don't have a strong foundation yet. Yes, online learning is not necessarily developed yet for this kind of learner. For students who cannot read and write, we're going to be doing mostly vocabulary first. This is not a session about vocabulary, but grammar is like second. First, if they can't read and write, we're going to do vocab first. Pictures, you're going to need to do some phonics activities. Miss Ocha can maybe help you with accessing the phonics lessons I did via Hadir Yuk. Yes?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But with that one, start with songs, start with actions, start with vocab, and don't stress out too much that they're not where they should be. Hopefully when we go back to class next semester, hopefully, we can start the process, but really just focus on getting them interested in English with songs, with simple vocab, and even you can begin phonics work with the alphabet. I have 2 phonics sessions that I've done for Minggu Belajar, and Ms. Ocha, maybe you can talk about how they can access that through Hadir Yuk, can they?
I think it's from through maupintar.id.
Okay, great. Can you put that in the chat box, please?
Yeah. Okay.
Great. Yes, we can also add sight words for lower primary, especially because TECA was interrupted in March, and if they're starting primary 1, they've missed out on 6 months of kindergarten. So you might need to do extra sight word reading. For sight words, there's a great website I've just put in the chat box. It's called sightwords.com, and it has lots of videos, tutorials for teachers, free materials, and the process of sight reading. Sight reading should be those words that are difficult to read, that do not sound like they are written. For example, the word one. When students read it for the first time, it looks like onne. Onne, not one, because it doesn't look like a W. So sight reading should be the words that are difficult to read, like 1, 2 also. It looks like tuwa, tuwa. That's not how we read it. So if you're choosing sight words, choose the difficult ones to read. Yeah. Great. So read and write virtually. Again, reading and writing, start with simple vocabulary, and start with short sentences. For example, start with apple, then an apple, then that apple is red. So we're going to build very, very simple sentence and get them to repeat, repeat, repeat as they're looking at the words. The best way to help students to start to sight read is looking and repeating, looking and repeating. Apple, banana, apple, banana, apple, banana, banana, apple, that kind of thing. An apple, a banana, an apple, a banana, a carrot. So as you extend, you can build in the red carrot is red, that kind of thing. Really, really simple. Look at some kindergarten materials if your primary ones aren't ready yet for primary 1, because they've missed out 6 months of TECA B probably. Okay. I think we have time for one more question.
Yes. Is there anybody who would like to ask?
That's one thing I haven't really talked about, actually, sorry, and this is just in general, is really figuring out what the parent's role is. Online learning, especially for those who struggle, we need the parents' help. and you need to contact them personally and say, look, your child is having some difficulty and I want to make sure that they are up with the rest of the class, or however you want to say it, and I need your help. So you can send them books to read with their children, or you can suggest certain reading videos on YouTube. You can look to see what's useful. The parents are going to have to really help with that, unfortunately. That's all you can do. You can't go to their house to help them. So you need to kind of figure out a way to really appeal to those parents and get them to be your co-teacher. Otherwise, it doesn't work, as I'm sure you know. One more question, sorry. Do you think we have to correct the students' grammar directly? I think if it is in terms of the workbook and the exercises that you send via workbook, ebook, Nearpod, Google Form, I think that's a good place for correction. If students make a mistake while speaking, for primary, I repeat the sentence but correct, and then I ask them to repeat after me. So instead of saying, no, that's wrong, or that's wrong, I don't do that. So a student says, pizza is the most deliciousest food. Oh, pizza is the most delicious food. Everybody repeat, pizza is the most delicious food. So I correct, but I don't say, wrong, no. Yeah, so yes, we can correct directly, but we call it reformulation. So a student says, I think pizza more the most delicious than blah, 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 mistake. Oh, you think pizza is the most delicious food. Everybody, pizza is the most delicious food. Who agrees? If you agree, put your hat on. Yes, if you think pizza is the most delicious food, put your hat on. If you think it's not the most delicious food, you can put your glasses on. And a way that we kind of fix it, but we move on and get everyone to repeat the correct sentence. So yeah, thank you for your question, Miss Uni. I think that's all we have time for questions. If you have any further comments, please write them in the feedback form. Thank you once again for joining me today. Miss Ucha has some more information, and please don't leave. We have to take a photo and find out how you can get the handout. Thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you again. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Todd. That would be the end of the Q&A session, and don't worry, if you still have any question, you can deliver your question or idea to the written email and WhatsApp number on the screen. You can take a note first to the email and also the WhatsApp number. And as promised, I will also share the link for the materials and also the Nearpod link. But before that, I would like to thank Mr. Todd for a wonderful and informative session about interesting grammar lesson. The session gives us very useful information, and from Mr. Todd's sharing, there are so many things we can learn in developing online learning into something interesting. Hopefully, we can also apply the strategies so we can deliver the best teaching to students in this situation. So thank you very much once again, Mr. Todd. And in case some of you haven't filled the attendance form, now displayed on the screen is the link for attendance form. Kindly spend 1 minute to fill it. Bagi Bapak Ibu yang belum mengisi formulir kehadiran, silakan untuk mengisi terlebih dahulu ya Bapak Ibu, hanya bagi yang belum saja. Dan mohon diperhatikan dalam penulisan nama lengkap dan alamat email agar tidak terjadi kesalahan penulisan. Silakan. Thank you very much for those who have filling the attendance form, and educators, for those who would like to have today's materials or files, you may download it through the link on the screen, or please also check on the chat box. I already sent the link. Silakan Bapak Ibu dapat mencatat terlebih dahulu sehingga dapat mengaksesnya setelah sesi ini berakhir ya Bapak Ibu. Silakan. And then, next, please kindly spend 2 minutes to fill in our feedback online form. The link and the QR code are displayed on the screen. And this is important, Bapak Ibu, please access the online form and make sure to fill it carefully on your full name and active email address. Silakan Bapak Ibu dapat menuliskan feedback ataupun umpan balik dengan mengakses tautan yang sudah saya share di chat box, dan mohon diperhatikan untuk penulisan nama maupun alamat email. Silahkan Bapak Ibu. Okay, thank you very much for your feedback. It will surely be a good contribution for us in improving our quality and also to serve you better in the future. And you will have your e-certificate delivered to your email. Now, educators, let's have a photo session together. So please turn on the camera or video so we can show our pose, our happy faces, and our smiles. And my colleague will help me lead the photo session. Please, Mas Ludi, kindly help us.
Halo Bapak Ibu, boleh minta tolong untuk dinyalakan videonya Bapak Ibu? Yang belum menyalakan, boleh tolong dinyalakan. Kita akan foto ya, karena peserta banyak sekali. Saya akan bagi ke dalam 3 bagian ya. Oke, untuk yang pertama dulu. Ayo gayanya Bapak Ibu. 1, 2. Oke. 1, 2. Oke. Sekarang yang kedua. Oke. Satu, ganti kayak Bapak Ibu. 1, 2. Yang terakhir. Ganti gaya lagi Bapak Ibu. 1, 2. Oke. Ya. Terima kasih. Silakan Ocha.
Okay, thank you very much, Mas Ludi, for the photo session. And the photos will be sent to the WhatsApp group. And educators, I would like to share some updates from Mentari group. We have 2 platforms for you to access. The first one, we have Hadir.U. We provide Hadir.U site for everyone to register for Mentari group's events, both face-to-face and live streaming. Also, through Hadir.U, you can create your own event. Kindly visit www.hadir.u.id regularly to check our event updates. Or if you want to have a partnership, please contact our team. And the second one, we also have Mau Pintar. It's an online learning platform that provides a lot of learning videos that can be accessed every day by students or even educators to have inspiration for teaching ideas. One of the current events is Mentari Tutor Online for students learning with the best of Mentari Group's tutors. Currently, we have classes for maths and English subjects. Please kindly visit www.maupintar.id to access the online learning platform. And dear educators, it's the end of today's session. Hopefully, this session can provide a lot of information and ideas for teaching development, especially in this current condition. On behalf of Mentari Group and Mentari Teachers Academy, we would like to thank you all and hope to see you all in the next event. Stay healthy and have a nice day.
Insan Mentari, hai ini waktumu mengabdi bangsa lewat pendidikan, berangkat dari visi misi luhur. Kami datang untuk membangun negeri, berani bermimpi dan terus berkreasi, mau dan sanggup menjadi yang terbaik, cakap cepat cerdas selai, itu adalah kami. Berharap terbaik, itulah nafas kami. Untuk Indonesia kami berkarya, bangun pendidikan, majukan bangsa.
Betapa pentingnya guru. Guru adalah pengaruh utama untuk generasi muda. Guru mampu mengubah generasi muda Indonesia. Maukah kamu mengambil peran itu? Mengambil peran penting membangun generasi muda, generasi bangsa. Negara memanggilmu. Jawab panggilan itu.
If I move the angle B, you see here. Okay, I will stop.
Kita akan belajar matematika dengan topik luas dan juga keliling. Bantu Kak Hijri untuk mencari panjangnya berapa dan lebarnya berapa. Dengan menggunakan apa ini namanya?
Penggaris.
Ya benar, penggaris. Oh, karena ini keliling, jadi cara mengerjakannya adalah
2 kali panjang tambah lebar.
keliling sama dengan
So thank you very much everyone. You can leave the Zoom meeting room. Terima kasih Bapak Ibu Guru. Sampai jumpa.